Thank you so very much to all our members at the panel. Can we have a big round of applause, please, everybody? Okay, thank you so very much to all of you in the audience. And I give you a warm welcome once again. So we will now begin our final panel discussion, and our theme is Shaping a Sustainable Future, the Role of Leadership in ESG. So the session will be moderated by Dr. Niraj Gupta, Head, School of Corporate Governance and Public Policy, Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs. And the panel members that we are about to have is Mr. Sundeep Jakhar, Head of Public Affairs, India, ACCA, Dr. Amarjit Chopra, Past President, Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, ICAI, and Senior Partner, GSA and Associates, LLP. He'll be with us virtually. Mr. Abhishek Tripathi, Partner Grant Thornton, Bharat LLP, along with Ms. Shivani M. Datta, Vice President, ESG and Compliance Management, Bharti Airtel Limited. So we look forward to the panel discussion, and then we'll follow it up with Q&A.
Thank you so much, ASSOCHAM, my dear panelists. You can see 4 of us on the stage, but the doyen of corporate governance, a great inspiring leader you can see on the screen, Mr. Amarjit Chopra sahab. Thank you for waiting. I forgot my diary in my bag, so it took me about a minute. Thanks for waiting. So it's a very interesting panel that has been drafted, and it is a pleasure. I understand this panel is between you and lunch. So we'll try to, on the one hand, create insights which are useful. Still, will place all possible efforts, not wasting even a single minute where you should wait for the lunch. So we are trying to serve the dessert first. You will have the lunch later. Now, in order to begin, I know Ms. Chopra was the chairman of NACAS, one of the very important committee which brought IFRS in India. Finance has a great place in corporate governance. ESG again is something which is part of multiple efforts which are pushing the standards and benchmarks of corporate governance in India as high as possible. Sir has taken ICAI to the next level, so I would like to have his initial remarks first, then we'll have the initial opening remarks from the dear friends on the dais, and then we'll open up with some questions which we thought the discussion around would be useful for you. Chopra sahab. Sir, you are not audible.
Thank you, Dr. Niraj. I think now I'm audible.
Yeah, very much.
Yeah. Dr. Niraj and of course the fellow panelists, and my greetings to all the participants here. You see, it is not that ESG is something very new. Let's be very clear about it. After all, every government has been talking about environment, they have been talking about sustainability, they have been talking about governance. For decades, but then you coin certain words at different stages. And I think this is one word which has been coined now, and which is getting pushed into the corporate sector. If I see the genesis of the entire thing, I look at it from the corporate social responsibility point of view, if you really ask me. Because if you look at the corporate social responsibility, it talks of the same thing that the corporates, if at all are earning profits, they must get into the Corporate Social Responsibility Act. Now, of course, the SEBI has introduced BRSSR. There are many questions in that particular report about the top 250 companies have to get the assurance services done with regard thereto. The others, another 750 will follow in the years to come. But the more important thing which we need to understand is that we talk of governance, we talk of sustainability, we talk of environment. In each country and in each industry, these are going to be different levels. Let's be very clear about it. When I am sitting in Canada, here the air quality index, if it goes beyond 3, people say that it is getting polluted. I think that's the kind of, whereas in Delhi, when we used to be there in December, it can go up to 400 and it can go up to 500. Now, I think in different countries, the standards would be different in different country, in the different industries, it could be different. In oil, probably the environmental standards will be on a different level. In gas industry, it could be on a different level. When I talk of a manufacturing industry, it could be of a different level, and it could be in different areas, in different aspects. But when it comes to the social part, basically a sustainability part, I think that is more or less remaining common to all the aspects. You have to take care of your staff, you have to take care of the suppliers chain, you have to take care of the society, you have to take care of everything. And I think that is one aspect which is very, very important. And I am raising an issue to the panelists also, and to Dr. Niraj also, the moderator. We heard a day or two before a particular company has laid off 800 workers. I will not name the company. No, it will be good for the sustainability of the company as such and for the other labor force which has to sustain. But what happens to that 800 labor force? I think it is paradoxical that you lay off 800 workers and still you will say that I am trying to meet the sustainability levels for the company and for the other labor force. Otherwise, probably there could be challenges for running the company. But at times you have to take certain decisions which may seem to be contrary to the sustainability with regard to a particular section, but which could be for the sustenance of the other part. And similarly, I think when I talk of governance, governance is one issue which has been bothering me, very frankly, sitting on certain boards of the companies. You know, certain companies like Tata's, etc., have been bothered about this ESG for a very, very long time. And certain companies may not be bothered even if you implement BRSSR. Because it cannot be a compliance-stick approach. Unfortunately, in our country, most of the things are taken as a compliance approach. That you have to tick certain boxes. And even in the assurance part, I have seen that in certain companies, it's more of a tick approach. The tick approach does not work, very frankly, when I talk of ESG. For ESG, I think in the longer run, SEBI and MCA, SEBI and company law will have to fall in the same place, and fiduciary responsibilities of the directors will have to be fixed in respect of the ESG also. Today, if you ask me, there are hardly any programs for the directors, whether independent or otherwise, with regard to ESG undertaken by the various companies. I'm not talking of the top 250 companies or so, and because I may not like to comment even about that. But so far as the other companies are concerned, my experience says that probably somewhere or the other, there is a lack of knowledge or lack of, you can say, enthusiasm with regard to this ESG part. And when the directors themselves are not aware, when the management itself is not aware, and it's more of a tick box approach, कि मुझे tick करना है किसी भी box को, if that approach is going to be there, I think the things are not going to work. Somewhere or the other, the responsibility for the ESG has to be fixed on the board, and I think that should be a part of the fiduciary responsibilities of the director, the board altogether. My challenge is that there can be different standards for different industries, and how do the directors know about that? I think that training programs have to take place. Institute of Chartered Accountants of India has started a certificate course. I think the chartered accountants who are directors may undertake that particular course. But what about the others? I think some IICA has a very important role to play so far as this particular direction is concerned. And I personally feel that this staff satisfaction, and when we talk of the sustainability, and when I talk of sustainability, I talk of the sustainability of the company, of the staff, of the supply chain, of everyone connected with the company, and of course, the society. And if the difference in the salaries of the top man and the lower man is too much, I think that itself is a challenge with regard to the staff satisfaction. And when there is no staff satisfaction, to me, the most important part for the sustainability of any organization, for the sustainability of any society, is the satisfaction of the labor force. And then, if that satisfaction is not there, I think everything suffers. The banks and insurance companies are going to play a very important role in the times to come. I think during the panel discussions we can discuss about that also. A good ESG measure, basically by any company, can reduce its costs through the R&D, etc. It can make better quality products available through R&D to the customers at a more affordable price, and it can take care. But the most important point, Dr. Niraj, to my mind is, and to the participants, that do we have the outcome analysis of all these ESG matters? I think that is, to me, the real challenge. Even with regard to the CSR, the same thing is happening. The corporates are keeping on incurring the expenditure. But are we able to measure the difference before and after? I think that's very important. And that is somewhere or the other is not happening with regard to the ESG also. And to me, if that does not happen, it will never give me a measure as to what has actually happened. I still remember when I was the president in 2010-11, even before that, there used to be a lot of talk with regard to the carbon credits. One of the companies in India was making its profits solely out of the sale of the carbon credits. And today what we see as a part of ESG, people may say it is a part of ESG or in the times to come. What I was studying yesterday night was that it is said that in 2040, probably fresh water will cost as much as the oil. Now that's the sustainability for the society as a whole, basically. That's the kind of level of the affluence. Now, sitting over here, very frankly, the kind of summer that one has seen here this time, it's because of the climatic effects. And we all talk of ESG in the advanced countries, and I don't think that the real thing is actually happening. To me, it remains more of a buzzword than in reality or the implementation thereof. To me, the real challenge will be the implementation of the ESG measures. The kind of expenditure that we incur for ESG measures, whether that is bearing fruit or not, to me, that is a major challenge. And if we are unable to measure that, I think any measure is not likely to succeed in future also. Thank you very much.
It's a very interesting discourse, and I must say you have set the tone of this panel. A number of issues touching the global challenges, Indian challenges, implementation related challenges, challenges pertaining to adoption and integration, challenges which are linked with the core, that is the real capacities of the board as well as the management on dealing with this aspect. Now, in interest of time, I'm slightly changing. I'm taking liberty being a moderator, not having the opening remarks from the friends and straight jumping onto the question. We have Shivani, who comes from the industry. She leads ESG practice in Bharti Airtel. I would like to know the point which, and I'll come back to you, sir, towards the close of this panel. Let us deal with the questions. You have posed a great challenge before us. Shivani comes from the industry. We understand ESG is a integral part of the corporate governance process. So how do you see industry really views it as an integral part or just a matter of compliance?
Thank you, sir, and good afternoon, everyone. It's a privilege to be part of this very distinguished panel and the discussions during the day. I think that ESG is definitely being considered an integral part of corporate governance today. The reasons are that today, so business is operating within the social and environmental ecosystem. So, if I just allow me to, go back to my school days where we learned that where there is a river, there will be a settlement, and then trading will happen. So basically, it's the environment came first, then society, on top of that economics, and then a governance pillar that ran through it all to really ensure that everything happened in a fair way. Similar is the concept today that where in today's business we are seeing that the same environment base and society base is getting impacted with challenges which we are hearing of, say climate change, biodiversity, or in the social aspects, sir talked about the inequities that are there in the system today. So all of these are today's reality, and the business is not operating in an isolation. It is operating right on the basis of this environmental, social, capping, and what we have commonly also captured in the SDGs, which are also under the same wedding cake model. So therefore, because we do not operate in isolation, we have to conduct our business in today's scenario as well as future-proof it. And therefore, it is integral that business integrates the ESG, understands how ESG is going to be impacting the business, and accordingly, govern or set in place the right governance systems to be able to address it. So secondly, we did hear about access to capital in the morning. We had panelists from the investment fraternity telling us about how investors are actually assessing companies because on their ESG performance. So access to capital is an important driver for business, so as even what I call the social license to operate, because today the consumers, the customers, our value chain is actually asking us back, what is it that you are doing in terms of, we discussed some greenwashing risks. So again, how do we ensure that we do not get into that space? Only by ensuring that our claims are verified. So there has to be, no claim that goes in the market should go without adequate, say, life cycle assessments of the product that has been set out. So like that.
Shivani, I'm picking up, you have said one very interesting thing. We know how we have developed over a period of time. I'm talking about country. We used to think about waterproofing our houses and roofs. And today we have started talking about future proofing, which you have talked. We have Abhishek with us, who comes from consulting industry and who looks at from the top, because a number of companies approach them. I'm sticking to the term future proofing. So how do you see that the concept is gaining momentum? It is a future proofing for them under certain fear or pressure, or under some passion that they want to elevate the level of their corporate governance? What is your quick view?
So my quick view would be, ESG is evolving and there's much more which is on its way, right? Somewhere entire ESG. So actually it's sustainability which is the bigger umbrella. Sustainability is something which is integrated with the business. ESG is a way of doing business and CSR is an outcome of business. That's how they all stitch together. So somewhere all of this has to be integrated with the business. And it's not just integration or doing a ESG strategy and integrating it with the business, it's also imbibing ESG within the genes of the organization. So I feel somewhere ESG has to be injected in the blood. That's how it will go to the genes and that's how it will go to the next generation. So future proofing means the entire integration of all the aspects, everything has to be taken together. All the aspects, and it's not just, ESG is not just environment or natural resources or water or waste. It's social, it's governance as well. The entire aspects of diversity, inclusion, equality, all that has to be factored in. And then only, the future, the goals could be achieved.
Very interesting, Abhishek. Like you have touched upon, of course, we are paucity of time, but very critical aspect that ESG is just one segment of the sustainability philosophy. The philosophy.
Neeraj, so if I can draw three boxes, I am a ESG practitioner for last 15, 18 years. So if I draw three boxes, there's the first box is the smallest box, very little, which I know about ESG. There will be a bigger box, I don't know about ESG. And then there's a huge box, I still don't know that I don't know. That's how ESG is.
Oh, that's very interesting. I don't know whether there is a fourth box as well called black box, because I think a lot of concepts are still in the black box. But anyway, you touched upon very, very interesting points that overarching philosophy is sustainability, and if we are really aligned mentally with that philosophy, ESG will be in place. Another very interesting point, like Shivani has given, you were referring to blood. So how I am using it in my own way means you want to say it has to be a part of our DNA. We have Sundeep from ACCA, which is a capacity building, accreditation, educational body, global body, and has very significant presence. I was discussing with him, they have more than 80,000 enrollments in courses, working at different levels, and a big list of members in the country, which is indicative that people are preparing themselves for some certifications and qualifications which are not just globally acceptable, but globally aligned. So how do you think you integrate sustainability, education, and ESG in your certifications to prepare people as future CEOs?
First of all, thank you very much, ASSOCHAM, for giving this opportunity to ACCA to partner with this important conference, and I'm really delighted to be part of this panel discussion. So, from my perspective, there are 5 key essential skills and mindset which future leaders will need. Number 1 is purpose-driven vision. So leaders must have the absolute clarity why ESG matters to their organization. I think we are hearing it from various speakers since morning that ESG is beyond compliance, right? It's about creating long-term value for society, for the environment, and for the business. So a clear sense of purpose will not only inspire your teams, but it will also help to build trust with wider stakeholders, which we are talking about. The second necessary skill or mindset is integrated thinking. Dr. Haldia in the morning, alluded to this fact, because ESG problems are integrated, right? Climate change affects supply chains, social issues affect talent, and governance issues affect investors' confidence. So leaders need to have the ability to connect all the dots, look at the big picture, and then take decisions which have the right balance in terms for the organization as well as the wider society. So this integrated thinking is what differentiates reactive management to proactive leadership. The third important aspect is adaptability and curiosity. ESG is evolving very fast. Technology is changing, climate change we are seeing, and so does the stakeholder expectations from the organizations. So leaders need to be willing to learn and adapt very quickly and sometimes challenge their own assumptions as well. Because a curious mindset will allow you to continue to grow rather than just doing the minimum. Empathy and inclusion is another area which a future-ready leadership needs to have. Empathy means basically you need to listen to your stakeholders, right? And you need to be inclusive as well. When people, feel heard and inclusive, they will support you in your drive to make these changes. And last but not least, courage and accountability, because when we talk about ESG or sustainability, leaders sometimes need to take tough decisions, whether it's about, leaving aside a profitable but unsustainable project or changing your supply chains. So you need to have the courage and conviction to take those decisions, keeping in the mindset the long-term horizon for the business, because nowadays it's not about making profits only. You need to make impact as well. So I think these are some of the points which are required.
Great, Sudeep. So you have given us, very bigger sketch, right, from purpose to the courage and the entire journey. I mean, being proactive, being visionary, and of course, only exemplary leaders can do that. So I'm quickly now. I mean, it's going to be a fire chat sort of thing, Shivani. So I'm going to Shivani to check. There are multiple points which Sundeep has mentioned. So what do you believe? Three key points where you think, believe that, and I'm not asking specifically about your company, your own experience in the industry. Three enablers which enables leaders to create an impact in the short run on sustainability leadership, ESG leadership, and also contributes towards the long-term vision of the company. What are those three, if you can help us?
Thank you. I'll try to share what I may not be able to give you three, but maybe a couple of them.
Sure.
I think that the first thing that we need is to ensure our leaders are aware about the challenges that are currently, what is known as the VUCA environment, the volatile, the ambiguous, the complex, uncertain environment that we are currently in. So I think we are seeing many companies adopting that as an approach where the leadership is given training on sustainability issues, and then slowly that awareness is generated, and then they really start to take action and charge on that. So I think awareness of leadership, and I would also go down to awareness right till each and every employee, because that's really where the action is going to happen on the ground. So that it's not just a tick box, but actually goes down all the way. The other part is, I think, a key enabler would be, because the leadership would be charged up, having then a top-down governance model, such as a board-level committee on ESG, which could actually enable that kind of dialogue and action, strategic action to start to percolate down, would be a requirement. And because ESG can get confined in many corporates into solo, very lean teams. Therefore, my belief is that we need to use the power of influence, use the passion that we bring in, and make ESG live in each and every employee. So I think that if we can actually get in something like a job action guide for every department in terms of what does ESG mean to a procurement team, or what does it mean to an HR, then it might just get a bit more alive. They will really know that they want to do something, but sometimes people don't know what is it that we should do. So this could become an enabler for people like you and me to actually start contributing, which could become a greater initiative within the corporate, which could then get,
Great.
reported out.
So I'm sorry interrupting. I mean, I asked for 3, you gave me 4. Seriously. The first thing is being aware, being sensitive towards what is happening. Second thing you have said is to prepare in an appropriate manner. Third is to act on it in a very focused manner. And fourth that you have given is to create influence. By authority, without authority. Both ways leaders do. They influence with their own aura, actions, vision, and much more. So now, taken to the next level, I'm going to Abhishek because he advises a number of companies on this. And when it comes to the question of leadership, there is a bigger question which often is attractive to the leaders, ROI. There are some terms which are very interesting. Leaders often ask this question, okay, what is there in it for me? What is the ROI? For social aspect, what is, now people are talking about SROI. So multiple things. So how do you see that, a larger, we can help companies creating a overarching long-term vision instead of focusing just short-term ROI? What is your advice on it?
See, to be successful on ESG aspects needs a lot of investment, right? If you're thinking about the future, you need to plan for it, and accordingly, investments have to be done. Now, if someone says that she or he wants a quick ROI, that is just not possible. It has to be aligned with the long-term vision of the company. Patience is the key here, and working in the right direction. So when one draws a ESG strategy, the strategy will have milestones, goals, targets, etc., with a short-term, mid-term, and a long-term horizon, right? If someone thinks everything will happen in the next 6 months, that is not going to happen. Essentially, implementing a ESG strategy also takes 2 to 3 years, right? And then the investments on the entire renewable, say for example, the returns, one could see the returns only after a period of 4 to 5 years, right? So, quick returns, no way. And one should not get into that direction of thinking about quick returns on ESG. If it's about sustainability of the business, then patience is the key, and continuous focus towards the goal should be the key.
A slight shift, thank you, Abhishek. A slight shift I am giving, having, Sundeep on board, and ACCA is a body which had always been, influencing me in terms of its work. I'm sure you are working in a way which is in tandem with the need of the industry and the upcoming trends, on corporate governance space, corporate accountability space. So I remember in school days, we were few, who used to care just for the homework that were given to us. There were some more who used to, get involved with extracurricular to have something on board so that they can grow. So we were working to get past, they were working to grow. So how do you imbibe this kind of philosophy in ACCA curriculum? What kind of questions you face from the prospective students, of course, professionals who come on board, and how do you help them out? What is your vision on it?
Thank you. I think very pertinent question. When we talk about future-ready leadership and how ACCA is preparing future-ready leadership in ESG, we have included sustainability standards and wider ESG framework in our qualification, in our core qualification, which is ACCA. Apart from this, we have various certifications as well, which can help prepare you to lead in this area. We last year launched our professional diploma in sustainability because sustainability is the key factor behind ESG. So we have launched this course, and this course is just not about knowing the ESG regulations, but it's about knowing the wider things like climate risk analysis, stakeholder engagement, and strategic management around ESG parameters. Because we understand that the smart, forward-thinking, and responsible organizations, they know that the debate over the ESG agenda is now over. So that confusion is no more there. Everyone knows that for sustainable future, we need new ways of working. We need new ways of, uh, managing our economic affairs, because we need to focus on people and planet as much as on the profits. And the urgency is very clear. If you look at climate risk and social inequalities, etc., they are affecting the business stability and reputation like never before. On top of it, investors, customers, and employees, all of them are keenly watching what leadership is doing in this area. So we are really trying our best to create a shift in mindset rather than adding more skills, because it is as important to change the mindset as much as it's all about skills.
Very interesting point you have said. We are moving towards the closure. Habits can be changed, agendas can be changed, board agendas have changed over a period of time, charters have changed, policies, everything, regulation is changing faster, especially in India in last 10, 12 years, it has changed with great pace, adoption of best practices. But what has the highest level of resistance is the shift in the mindset. So if you are working in that direction, that is quite appreciative and exciting. Going towards one quick...
Just to interject, at ACCA we call CFOs as Chief Value Officers, because we believe that CFO role is now just not limited to, overseeing the financial matters of the organization, but since they have the 360-degree view of the entire affairs, they can play a very important role in creating this shift in mindset.
CFOs are value enablers. I'm sure you must have helped them redefining what value is. Value is not in terms of market capitalization. Value is not in terms of asset valuation. Value is in terms how much carbon footprints they have mitigated, how much people in the company and society they have empowered, how much impact they have made in biodiversity. I'm sure new connotations of value must have evolved when you are working with the CFOs. Quick one round, and I'll request just take a couple of seconds. No, Abhishek, I have a question. I cannot give you chance to add something more. We can have it on the lunch. Now, tell me, with your experiences so far for last 2 decades you are working in this space, are the boards ready to take the ESG and sustainability challenges, yes or no?
No.
Okay. Just quick reflection, why no?
Yes, so there's lack of knowledge, lack of skill set, lack of experience, lack of data, identification of the stakeholder or identification of the right stakeholder. And so before that, who's a stakeholder? Because we'll hear this word quite often in the ESG domain, stakeholder. Anyone and everyone who matters for the business is a stakeholder. It could be promoters, board members, CXO, shop floor employees, community, suppliers, customers. So anyone and everyone who matters for the business is a stakeholder. Identification of the right stakeholder and identification of the right data or right information which is required from the right stakeholder is again a big challenge.
I am stopping you, I'm sorry, my apologies, because I promised to the audience, I'm accountable to them. It is a conference on corporate accountability. I promised I'll give you lunch on time. So now, just a slight shift to this question for Shivani. She leads ESG in Bharati. What do you see as I got your no, I recorded it. What do you see, Shivani, as their appetite towards learning? Because you are the ESG head, how many times the board members come to you to ask, what is this concept? How can I know about it? How can I prepare about it? What are your perspectives?
I think the board definitely looks at how we get tested in the market, how we are ranked in the market, and thereby I think the ESG ratings that we are, various members of, do give a flavor to the board, and at times queries do come around, how are we, why are we where we are, and what is it that we can then do to improve it. So I think that these kind of, that's where I've seen the utility of ratings. At the same time, I think that there is definitely a growing appetite, and I'm hearing that there are these courses which are now coming out for directors, wherein, as I have also seen in my past experience as well, where boards as well as top management has been given this bit of education, and then change has been seen right till the ground.
Wonderful. So I see, I mean, the no from the Abhishek and the reasoning behind it. There is a logic.
So it is still being perceived as a compliance-driven activity.
Okay.
It has to be a forward integration,
Absolutely.
a proactive integration, not transactional but transformational. That is the requirement.
Not transactional, that needs to be underlined. And what Shivani has said is really greenfield area for me, that there is a strong appetite, there is a strong interest towards it. And when there is a concept where people start taking interest, I'm sure they may not be prepared today, but they will be prepared tomorrow. And the transformative approach, what Abhishek has said, will be in place. Anything, Sundeep, you would like to add? Just 10 seconds you have.
Sure. I think I will agree with Abhishek on this. We have done research in this area globally, and we have found that, ESG competence at the leadership level, it is one of the biggest gap various organizations are facing. But I think it's time that we need to realize the importance of be future ready in ESG area, because in the times to come, we will face greater scrutiny. Greenwashing will be penalized, social impact will be monitored as the financial profits, and governance failures will have real consequences.
Great.
So those who are not prepared, they may not only find losing the market relevance, but they will lose the trust of the stakeholders as well.
Great. So very interesting point. Either prepare yourself or time will make you prepare. There is no third option or bucket, as 3 buckets Abhishek was mentioning. One quick remark, sir, we are lacking time, so my apologies. Just I can offer you maximum 10 seconds for a quick word in terms of readiness of the board or any mantra for the board.
No, I will only say that we need to actually introduce this concept of ESG in various curriculums, right? From, I think now from school level to college to professional. There is no way that we can think of it now only at the professional level or at the director's level, management level. That it's not going to happen. I'm very clear today, and with whatever Shivani said, I fully agree with her. ESG becoming a very integral part of the entire management of the company. But today, I think ESG needs to be combined with CSR committee. I think SEBI must give it a statutory role as they have given to the CSR committee. ESG and CSR must become one, and then the responsibility of the committee should be to assess the outcomes also of this. We all talk of ethical practices, because that's the most important part of ESG, which we have not talked about it. Very frankly, if you ask me, the ethical practices, the role of the whistleblower, we have seen in certain companies, whatever has happened. So to me, what is more important is this ethics when we talk of, which is most important aspect of this sustainability. These are the values which have to be imbibed right from the birth of a child, basically. And that is how it has to be developed. So to me, it's very important that ethics has to be a very, very important part of the sustainability process of the entire society. And then, of course, the governance is going to be there. I'm sure the banks, I think Shivani talked of, or Abhishek talked of it. Banks and insurance companies will play a very important role, because if the banks can identify companies with a better ESG and can lend them at a low rate and can lend them for the expenditure on ESG at a low rate, I think that will be ideal. And the insurance companies can charge a lower premium to the companies with a better ESG. I think that could be a very important factor. There are today various funds which fund based upon the ratings of the ESG of the companies. I think that's going to be the scenario in the future. And to me,
That
it's a very challenging future, but it's a very
you're very
important
right,
concept
sir.
which
You
has
are
come.
very right, sir. Ratings have evolved very fast, and they are going to be the game changer. And one very interesting policy input that has come from your side, that CSR committees need to be transformed as ESG committees to inbuilt the philosophy of sustainability within the company. I cannot stretch it
In fact,
more.
some
Just
companies
one.
have already started. So it's ESCG now, ESG and CSR committee.
Interesting, interesting. So I think I should also get 1 minute to speak. I could not speak at all. I was just trying to orchestrate, what is being said and what is to be asked. So thing is, to me, what is important, because Sundeep was instrumental saying that companies and boards need to be future ready. I think on the one hand, future readiness is important, but without fitness, the future readiness can never be there, either it be an individual or an entity. So the first thing is knowledge fitness is very much important, which Shivani has touched. We need to have information fitness. BRSR requires a lot of information to be collated, a lot of information to be captured and placed and reported. So we need to be awareness fit, knowledge fit, we need to be information fit, we need to be architecture fit also. And technology can play a very significant role in building a trust around the disclosures, because our DG was in the inaugural address was talking about trust-based governance and assurance services. BRSR core touches about that particular aspect. I'm sure its span will get increased in the times to come, but technology can play a very stronger role as far as investor confidence and trust is concerned. And finally, the impact fitness is very important. If you are doing multiple things but not creating adequate impact, your efforts and investments go in vain. So the real ROI is there in terms of impact, nor in terms of the voluminous work that you are doing. Thanks for helping me, Abhishek, Shivani, Sundeep, and above all, Chopra Saab, for very insightful discussion. Thanks to all of you for, because I couldn't see even a raised eyebrow here when the lunch is warm and waiting outside. I tried to hold good on my promise. Thanks everyone for being here. Over to you.
All right, thank you so very much, Dr. Niraj and Mr. Sundeep, Jakhar, Mr. Abhishek Tripathi, Ms. Shivani. I thank you all, and can we request everyone to please give louder please. Thank you so very much. That brings us to the end of the panel discussion. Like you said, yes, everyone should be looking forward to a really, really good lunch. And we come to the end of the program. I request you to please join us. ASSOCHAM would like to thank its sponsors, our institutional partner, ACCA, Gold Partners, Trade Lab, ONGC, and GAIL. Thank you so much, and a lovely day ahead.